All right, first I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for this webinar with 3dcart about web stores and multi-market selling. My name is Josh Smith from Solid Commerce. I work on technical communications here, and I was an account manager before that. So that's my background. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Brian Falla from 3dcart. Brian's going to be giving us an overview about 3dcart's shopping cart system, and he'll also be covering some of the things that make it unique from some of the other systems out there. So I definitely want to give him a big thanks for joining us today. First, I want to give you an overview of the webinar. We've got 3 different segments of people tuning in today. We've got some that are Solid Commerce customers. We've got some that are 3dcart customers. And then we have people that are not clients of either system at this time. They're just interested in learning more. So with that in mind, we're going to be covering some general info through the webinar, but we will try to keep it moving, keep it brief. We definitely don't want to bore you, so if you're familiar with one system, we don't want to bog you down with technical details and too much information. As far as getting more specific information, if you view the webinar and you want more details, 3dcart's website, 3dcart.com, is loaded with information. At the end of the presentation, I'll also give you an email if you have some technical questions, specific questions, that you can get those questions answered. And also 3dcart offers a free trial, so that's another way to get into their system and get a feel for it. As far as Solid Commerce, we have a recorded demo on our website. But if you have specific questions, the best thing to do is either give us a call in or register on our website. We've got knowledgeable staff waiting to answer all the questions you have, and we can even do a live demo with you. So with all that said, the webinar will be divided into 3 sections. First, we're going to have the 3dcart presentation. Second, we'll come to Solid Commerce presentation, and then we'll follow that up with the question and answer. The question and answer will be handled through the questions chat box on your webinar menu. You can start putting in questions during the webinar if you like, and if they still haven't been answered by the end, we'll start answering those. And as I mentioned, this is being recorded, and we're going to send this link out to everybody that registered. So even if you're here, you will still get the recording. So now I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Brian. He's going to be doing the 3dcart presentation.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Josh. I'm Brian, and I do marketing for 3dcart. But even if I didn't, I would still tell you that 3dcart is the best e-commerce platform on the market. If you notice here, 3dcart shopping cart software has a ton of features. It's a complete hosted shopping cart software, but it's also more than that. 3dcart, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a complete hosted e-commerce solution. It lets you build and host your web store. It lets you add a shopping cart to your existing website, and it lets you replace your current web store if you're not happy with what you have now. And 3dcart has all the features, tools, support, technology, everything you need to build, promote, and grow your online business. For web design tools, 3dcart gives you all the tools to create your website and develop your online store. You can start with more than 50 web design templates, and you also have the ability to create your own designs using HTML and CSS for the more advanced users. In addition to that, we also have premium design templates that you can buy. The 50 customizable design templates, those are free, and those are available to anyone who signs up for 3dcart. And we do have, like I said, the premium templates that start off at $99. They're more customizable. They have more features, and you're able to use HTML and CSS for every one of those templates. So you can start out basic and kind of build from there. In terms of marketing tools, 3dcart features a ton of built-in marketing tools, especially for SEO and social media. Search engine optimization, as you know, SEO, is probably the single most important aspect to consider when you're marketing online. And unlike a lot of the big retail and auction e-commerce sites, 3dcart gives you full control of your store's SEO functionality. You have everything from your meta tags to custom file names. Everything you need is built into the platform already. No need to add any plugins, none of that. It's all built in. Additionally, 3dcart is entirely search engine friendly. It comes with more than 25 SEO tools built into your store's admin panel, and everything is ready for you to use as soon as you create your store. 3dcart's social commerce tools simplify what social media marketing is. Our social commerce lets you manage your blog, you can manage your Facebook store, you can update Facebook and Twitter, and you can do everything right from your admin panel. 3dcart also incorporates promotional tools. You can market your store, you can use the built-in newsletter manager, and you can also create special coupon and promo codes right from your admin panel that you can then share on your blog or then share on Facebook and Twitter. Again, everything is built into the system. Business management tools. 3dcart features fully integrated business tools for fulfillment, security, reporting and statistics, everything you need to help you properly plan, implement, and review your business growth. Tools from QuickBooks, McAfee, UPS, and Solid Commerce, for example, help you manage and protect your business. As you see here, we have everything you might need from accounting to fulfillment to order management, security, shipping, and tax. And 3dcart is also PCI compliant, which is one really neat feature. Not a lot of e-commerce platforms have this. Being PCI compliant means that all of your transactions are safe and secure. All right, now if you want to take your store to the next level, I know Amazon and eBay are trusted names in e-commerce, but being confined to these platforms can actually limit your reach. It can impede your store's growth, and it can keep you from being independent. It can keep you from building your brand. With 3dcart, your store will have personalized shopping experiences. You have access to cutting-edge e-commerce features. Your store you get full control of the look and feel of your store. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, you get a long list of comprehensive e-commerce features, tools, plugins, and things that you really won't find anywhere else. Now, I know a lot of you are familiar with Amazon Web Store, so I wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison so you don't have to take my word for it. From the price to the features to some of the social media aspects of it, 3dcart has a lot of features that a lot of e-commerce platforms don't, including Amazon and eBay. If you'd like, you can actually go to the website and you can see a full comparison from 3dcart. Compare it to Volusion, compare it to BigCommerce. We have everything on the website, and you'll be able to see what 3dcart offers that some of the other big e-commerce platforms don't. Here we have another comparison. This time it's with eBay, and if you notice all the pretty green check marks, again, that's what we offer that eBay and Amazon don't. Now I can sit here and talk for hours and hours about all of the features that 3dcart has to offer, but we don't really have that kind of time. So instead, what I want to do is I want to invite you to head over to our website, go to 3dcart.com/freetrial.htm, sign up for a free demo, see for yourself everything that 3dcart has to offer your business, and we're pretty sure that once you try it out, you'll see how easy it is, and you'll see how much you can improve your business through 3dcart.
All right, thank you, Brian. That was some good information. I'm going to retouch on some of the points that Brian made. But the first thing I'd like to do for the Solid Commerce part of the presentation is talk about some of the 3dcart features that our customers are using that really work well for them. So it's always nice to hear about the features, but it helps to have live examples. So these are features that are really in practice for some of our clients, and they make great use of them. First is the variation style listings. On 3dcart, they do it a little bit similar to eBay, so if you're at all familiar with that, it's a really easy way to set up your variation style listings and manage them. But 3dcart would actually offer probably a little more flexibility than what eBay would have. But compared to you know, some other options, it's a nice way to handle the variations. Solid Commerce actually interacts with 3dcart's variations in a unique way in that you can set the price for each child item as a fixed price. With 3dcart, it's an option on kind of the parent item. So if you have a t-shirt that's $20, you want to charge more for the extra large, you have to think, I want to charge $22, which is $2 more than I would normally charge. So that's plus $2 for that option. In Solid Commerce, you can tell us, hey, I want to charge $20 for the medium, and I want to charge $22 for the extra large, and we can handle that conversion on the option and handle that pricing. Another great thing with 3dcart is the user interface. It's clean, it's easy to use, and it's fast. So that's all nice. The flexibility with their shipping system, you really can customize how you want the shipping options to look on your listings. And no matter how you customize them, Solid Commerce can still import those orders and still work with all the options that you customize. Lastly is listing from Solid Commerce. We support almost all the fields that are available on 3dcart through the API connection. So that means you can create complete listings to 3dcart while also adding products to Solid Commerce and listing them to other markets. So you can really streamline your listing process, and Solid Commerce can be like a one-stop shop for listing. Now let's look at selling on multiple marketplaces. We'll get into these topics in more detail. This is just kind of an overview of where we're headed. The main reason to sell on multiple marketplaces is simple, really to just increase your revenue. You're going to be able to get more orders by getting listings seen by more buyers. Oh, excuse me. You can accomplish this a few different ways. The first would be by adding a web store. And if you already are selling on other markets like eBay, Amazon, Buy.com, you could add a web store, and that will, you know, allow you to sell on another channel. Or you can add a marketplace, or you can do both. So if you're already on Amazon, you can add eBay and 3dcart and really, you know, branch out and get your listing seen by more people. So selling on multiple marketplaces can also help build your brand. You know, you think of a brand on a branded website like a 3dcart web store, but you can carry your brand name across all the marketplaces. So you can help build your brand by expanding which markets you sell on. And selling on multiple marketplaces, it can be stressful, it can be difficult, it can be time-consuming. And I'll go through and show you some ways that Solid Commerce makes it easier and more efficient and makes it manageable. So 3dcart sounds like a cool shopping cart, but what are the benefits of adding a web store if you don't already have one? Brian touched on some of these already. The ownership and branding. You get to control the buyer's experience. You can control the look. You can make the experience more authentic and enjoyable for your customers. You can also control the product descriptions. You can post videos. You can enable buyer ratings and reviews of the products. You can offer discounts and promotions. And with certain categories, it's really nice to buy from a branded site from experts in that field. I'll throw out snowboards as an example. You know, I could go to Amazon and find a snowboard if I don't know much about snowboarding or I'm out of touch, I don't know if it's a good board or not. I don't know who these people are that are selling it. If I go to a branded website, they may have reviews. They may have customer reviews, feedback. It just gives me a better experience. The other thing that adding a web store offers is flexibility. With eBay and Amazon, you're obviously tied down to their rules and restrictions. With your own web store, you're free from all those things. Another important thing is it can increase your profit margin on each sale because you don't pay the marketplace commissions that you would find on buy.com, Amazon, eBay. And if you're working with Solid Commerce, you also get a savings there because we don't charge a commission on web store orders either. We just charge a small flat fee on each order that comes into our system. Another benefit is adding stability to your business. Right now, eBay is imposing more listing limits, even on top-rated sellers. Now, if you need to create a lot of listings to keep your order count up, this can become a problem. You could actually see decreased sales just because you can't list the amount of items you have for sale. You can't get them out there on eBay. If eBay was your only marketplace and you start running into this problem, that can hurt your business. And you know, what if they were to suspend you for some reason? Now you have no income. So when you add a web store and other marketplaces, you know, you prevent the situation where you're so dependent on just one source of income. And then, you know, depending on the category and how much work you put into it, a lot of our, you know, many of our clients build their web store to become their largest marketplace. So if you're already doing well on eBay and Amazon, and you don't have a web store, you could imagine what it would be like to be able to surpass those marketplaces with your own branded web store, and that gets back into this increased profit. So not only are you getting, you know, a large volume of orders, but you're going to be making more money on each order, depending on how you run your store. So now let's talk about adding a marketplace like eBay, Amazon, or buy.com. What's a good reason to do that? Like if you're a 3dcart customer and you already got the web store, why would you want to add these other markets? Well, most people will benefit from selling on other markets because of this first reason here. They already have traffic, they already have customers, they have people waiting to buy items. So you don't have to drive the business to you. Another nice feature is that the buyers on the major markets are confident they will get the order. As for myself, if I go to a web store, they may have what I'm looking for, but if it looks small, it looks unprofessional, I'm a little weary already. I'm going to Google reviews. I'm going to check out the site. I may not even buy because I just don't feel confident. But if I go to Amazon, I don't hesitate. They're going to back up the sale even if I have a problem. Going back again to diversifying your income, just more income streams are more stable. So even if your web store, for some reason, your sales started to taper, you now have other marketplaces that are going to still be hopefully taking orders. And of course, with more markets, you can get more orders, and that means more revenue for your business. Next, we'll look at building your brand briefly. As I mentioned, you know, you would generally think of building your brand with a web store, but if you're able to use the same seller name across all the markets, you actually can benefit from each of the markets. For example, if somebody's looking around on the major marketplaces, they may see you on a couple listings on Amazon, on eBay, and they may then try to find your web store. Once in your web store, if they like the buyer experience, if they find a coupon code, if they like the price, they may convert out of your web store, which could be better for your business. But even if they end up going back to an outside marketplace, they're going to feel confident buying from you on eBay or Amazon after seeing that you're a reputable business, you have your own web store. And as far as building the brand, increasing your revenue, that can give you more budget to work with to continue to build your brand because you can spend on ads, email marketing, expanding your product line, hiring employees, and so forth. So by building the brand, you could really hopefully get it to be a snowball rolling downhill for you. So now we've seen that 3dcart is awesome, selling on more markets is good, it makes sense, but where do you begin? If you're not already doing that, how do you get started? And that's where solid commerce comes into play. Our system is designed to work with multiple marketplaces, and that's really one of the areas of expertise for us. With listing on multiple marketplaces, usually your first market's going to be the most work. You've got to create your items, you've got to get your product. If you need any descriptions, photographs, pricing, all that stuff, you need to do that just to list to one marketplace. But when you go to add more marketplaces, the work decreases, and it really can be almost minimal depending on the market. So for a little bit less work, or a little bit more work, excuse me, you can get onto more markets. And when you're selling on multiple marketplaces, you're really taking advantage of the efficiencies that our system can offer you with inventory management, order management and fulfillment, and listing management. Another way that we help make it easy is our account managers are e-commerce experts. Every client that signs up is assigned a dedicated account manager. They're going to train you on solid commerce, on the solid commerce platform. They're going to provide technical support as you continue to work with us, but they also will give you some tips along the way on other marketplaces. They can give you best practices and help you with shipping, and so there's a large benefit to the amount of knowledge that they have. Another thing is that we have a complete integration with 3dcart. Quantities always update automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. I already touched on the variation listing and management capabilities that we have. And another thing that I hadn't talked about yet is that you can manage multiple 3dcart stores through our platform. So if you have multiple websites, we can now handle the quantity updates for you. So that way your quantity always stays up to date on all your web stores, and we'll also consolidate all the orders from the web stores for fulfillment. And then here's a couple topics we're going to talk about in a little more detail over the next few frames. We've got creating and listing products, managing your inventory, and fulfilling your orders. Product creation, one of the easiest ways is to import products from the marketplaces. We're going to bring those items in with their name, SKU, and as much information as we can gather, and then your listings will stay live, will be connected to them. You're also going to need to create new products, and you can do that with as many product details as you need or as few. It just really depends on your situation, but we do allow you to create custom attributes here, custom fields, and you can edit all your product data at any time in our system, and you can update live listings. So if you need to edit data and resubmit that to a marketplace, that's no problem. Now let's look at listing your items. Let's say you already with Solid Commerce and you're going to sign up with 3dcart. You've already got items here on Amazon Seller Central, and we want to get them over to 3dcart. You don't have to add new items. Excuse me. You don't have to add new items. You can actually add some details that are relevant to 3dcart, pricing for 3dcart, and take the items that you already have in our system and list those pretty easily over to 3dcart. But if you're going to list new items, you can do that to multiple marketplaces simultaneously through our system. When you create the items, we already have your quantities, so the quantities are ready and waiting to be listed on any marketplace. And we allow for independent pricing on each market, and we make that pricing easy to manage. Inventory management. Most of our clients will use one warehouse to control the quantities on all marketplaces. So here we have our test account with a New York warehouse. But we do also allow for multiple marketplaces, and we can accommodate multiple vendors too if you do drop shipping or just get orders from your vendor before fulfillment. And all orders that come into the system will deduct from the quantity in your warehouse, and we also can manage the cost out of your warehouse. So the warehouse is your hub for quantity and cost. Quantity updates that occur in the warehouse are automatically sent to all the markets. These quantity updates can come from orders, so you get an order on eBay, we're going to update 3dcart and Amazon for you. But they can also be initiated by you. You can come in the user interface here, and you could update this quantity manually. You could run an Excel with updated quantities, or even connect to an FTP with your vendor, and as they update quantities, our system will update. Any update in our system will automatically push to the marketplaces. We also offer advanced inventory control to the marketplaces. The most popular option is to list your entire inventory on every market, and this is the field we use to do it. This LQ stands for the list quantity. LQ just means list your entire inventory for sale. So in this case, we'd send 43 over. But we do offer the ability to list different quantities on different markets. Some people might put LQ-1 over on Amazon. In that case, we'd send 42 over to Amazon. And that just gives you a little cushion on oversells. And another great feature that a lot of people do use is to submit the same quantity to a marketplace over and over again. So in that case, let's say you had 120 of this item, but you only want 3 to show up for sale on eBay. We have a formula that you can use, and your account manager could obviously help you set everything up, but basically it tells our system every time we get an eBay order, resubmit the quantity of 3. So the quantity on eBay, when you get an order, would go down to 2, but as soon as we get that order, we go, no, it's supposed to be 3, and we'll shoot that back over and it'll re-update. And once you get down to 2 inside our system, we'll send the correct quantity so we can close out your listing. Now, no matter which of these options you choose, quantities are always fully managed inside the system. This quantity will always stay up to date no matter how you want your quantities sent to the marketplaces. And we'll also always send the correct quantity to the markets based on the settings you choose. Order consolidation and fulfillment. All the orders from all your marketplaces collect into Solid Commerce. They look very similar inside our system because for you it really doesn't matter. You've got to send all those orders out. We give you a full range of order fulfillment options, from custom order statuses that you can use, creating pick lists, for picking items for shipping. We give you customizable packing slips that you can include in your packages. We can create vendor PO emails automatically, so every order into our system emails your vendor with the order details so they can drop ship for you. And you can use the same process for managing orders and fulfilling orders regardless of which marketplace originates the order. We also have an integrated shipping tool. It's a full-featured tool that comes with your account. It allows you to ship with USPS, FedEx, UPS, and DHL. On FedEx and UPS, we do connect with your account, so you get your negotiated rates. We give you the ability to make shipping rules to automate label printing, and that can happen based on the weight of a product, based on the shipping method requested on the marketplace, based on the zip code. So you can fine-tune those rules to create the right type of label. To automatically generate labels, once you have the rules, you can scan an item into our shipping tool. That will automatically print a label based on your rules, or we have the ability to batch print labels. And there's 2 ways that our clients usually do that. It's either by storage location in their warehouse, so they get a stack of labels and they're already organized by storage location, so they can go and just pick the items after printing their labels. The label is paired with the item and ready for shipment. Or they can print it sorted by SKU, depending on how their system is set up. Here's a little demo of how the shipping tool would work. This is if I were to scan an item. I scan the UPC barcode. You can also scan any barcode. If it matches up with a SKU, we can also automatically print the label. That's this step, but it can also automatically print a packing slip. So since these come out of your printers at the same time, they're ready to pair up, and you're ready to ship out. And here's some of the additional features that Solid Commerce offers. We have a kitting system. It allows you to combine multiple products together into one listing. The quantities on those products are managed independently. So let's say you have a 3-item kit. When you get an order for that, we know that it's actually an order for 3 different items. We update all 3 quantities according to the order. And the quantity on the marketplace is managed based on the item that has the lowest quantity level. So maybe 2 of those items have over 20 in stock, but there's one of them that's down to 2. You really only have 2 kits available, so that's how we send the quantity over to the marketplace. The kitting system also opens up the ability to list to multiple listings on just one SKU. That can be used on eBay, or is great for listing to multiple ASINs and still managing your quantity on just one item. And we're also developing another way to handle that scenario too. So we'll have 2 different options, just depending on what better suits your needs. We have automatic repricing. Our Amazon repricer has some unique features. It is fully featured. It's not just an afterthought on our system. It's definitely an important part, and it's also easy to set up rules and easy to apply them to your products. We have support for eBay Motors. You can handle fitments a number of ways with our system, and they definitely are built out working closely with Motors customers, so they speed up the process and make it easier. We have advanced vendor management, which I touched on a little bit, but it gives you the ability to automatically hook up to your vendor's FTP site, and when they update their files, we can process those updates. We can update quantity, cost, product details, and some of our clients have even been able to list automatically based on those feeds. So when new items are available in the feed, our system knows to apply a rule and put them for sale. Another thing with the vendor management system is you can manage multiple vendors, and we also have the ability to email those orders whenever you get an order directly to your vendor for fulfillment. Our system gives you the ability to list, relist, schedule auctions to eBay, and update live listings. And we're also always adding more features and integrations to meet our clients' needs. So working closely with our customers, many of the things on this page are exclusive to our system, like the kitting, and we're only able to develop that with the assistance of our customers to make sure it works the way they need it to. So we always want to thank all our clients for the feedback and helping us improve the system. Here's the quick review. 3dcart, we saw that it's an excellent shopping cart system. It has some unique features. And Solid Commerce is a great tool for managing 3dcart web stores. It makes selling on multiple marketplaces easier and more manageable for your business. Here's some information for 3dcart. They have a ton of detailed information at 3dcart.com. As we go through the question and answer, if there's things that Brian can't answer, or maybe they're just will require too much time to answer, you can go ahead and email questions to sem@3dcart.com, and they'll get you an answer on your questions. As far as Solid Commerce is concerned, if you're already a client and you'd like to add a 3dcart web store or get more information, please contact your account manager for that. If you're not a customer yet, you can go to our website. You can watch the short online demo of our test account so you can see a live account. And if you have some specific questions, we have knowledgeable staff that would be happy to answer all your questions. and you can reach them either by registering at the top of our site, and they'll give you a call back, or you can call in on our toll-free line. So I'm going to keep these frames up while we do the Q&A, so that way, in case you need to jot down any information, you guys will be able to. And we're going to go ahead and open up the question and answer. I got a question that somebody had to join in late. They missed a good portion of the presentation. They want to know if the slides are going to be available. We're not going to make the slides available, but we will have a full video. So if you registered, you will get the link to the video, and you can sort through, fast forward, and you'll be able to get all your information. So that was also the second question. So yes, we are going to make this available via video. It'll be on YouTube, so it'll be easy to view it again, or just fast forward to a part you missed. And
hey Josh, I mentioned the full comparison. If people want to compare 3dcart to other e-commerce solutions, I have that URL. I'm going to go ahead and post it in the chat section and make it available for everyone, if that's okay.
That's fine, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, we're actually not getting any questions, which is unusual. Well, if nobody really has any questions, then we can go ahead and end this. Okay. I got a question about the minimum fee for solid commerce. We do have a minimum fee of $199 a month. That's not a base fee. You only pay that if your commission on the marketplaces or your fees from orders do not amount to that, to $199. But if you go over that amount, then we just charge you whatever is greater. And really, the $200 is just not really making much of a profit for us. We just need to set it in so that we can maintain the quality of service that we have. All right, so I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. I'd like to thank Brian for presenting and 3dcart for making this happen with us. And we look forward to sending out the next webinar. So we'll see you guys again next time. Thanks again.